This is Illustrators MeetUp between for this edition between Indonesia and Germany illustrators, and we have here Volkmar, who will accompany us to his exhibition and his artworks and chat and talk about the art and the exhibition. And of course, we could also talk about many things about the situation for illustrators in German and in Indonesia. And we now already have several artists also joining us, Volkmar. So okay, good to go. We already live in YouTube. So Volkmar, would you please to introduce your program and your concept about the exhibition and say hi to our friends in Indonesia?
Yeah. Yeah, selamat sore to Indonesia.
Sorry.
This is my exhibition, Humming Shards. And you mean Humming Shards? Yeah, it means like a broken. I break up things and reassemble that, and it also means for me that I have like a cosmos of shapes in which make my artwork so typically for me. And so the basic idea for the exhibition was to create a greater number of compositions and like sort of icons which can endlessly grow, but in the total, if you every shape I create has some contains the same visual language I use in my artwork. And so in the background, we start here. You can see these so-called shards, and they are like this one, and yeah, they are laser cut with the in plexiglass. It's 5mm plexiglass, black, and it has it's mounted on the wall with 5 centimeters distance, so that gives it a nice floating light appearance, so that it's like floating in front of the wall. It gives a nice shadow. And from these I created in the meantime I'm 40 of these, and 36 of these compositions are joined together in the actual object that's called Humming Shards, and this is in the back room. And I will go there as soon as possible. Yeah. And this is made interactive, so it is mounted. They are all mounted on a box, and every shard has a motor, and the motor has a vibration unit, and there's a camera, an infrared camera attached that makes that reacts on your body temperature.
Wow.
And so the shards that are resembling the area of your body in the opposition of the object they begin to vibrate. So probably I would just the best thing you experience it. I go over to this next room and I will switch on the device. Just hang on a second. It needs electricity.
Yeah. So, Volkmar, before we continue, could you tell us where do you held this exhibition?
Which location?
Yeah.
This is in a small. It's very noisy.
It's okay.
This is in a village very close to Darmstadt. You know Frankfurt, and 30 kilometers south of Frankfurt, there's Darmstadt, which is a city with about 160,000 inhabitants. For Jakarta, it's nothing. It's a village. And even smaller is my little community, which is a little bit outside, about 5K outside of Darmstadt. It's an old village, and the rooms we are in the building is from 1860, and it used to be a pub, a village pub with a butcher in the.
Oh,
so,
wow.
can show you the.
So you have a big freezer for meats and stuff.
No, that's all long gone. And it was when this butcher was working here, they had real ice. They had no machinery for that. So the room for keeping the meat was in the back here in another building. Right. And there was someone had to come with a huge block of ice, and it was in an insulated room, and then they cooled the meat there. Yeah, but now it's art.
Yeah, nice. So repurpose the building. Yeah.
So now I'm approaching the actual object, the Humming Shards, which you can see here in the background.
Yeah.
And you notice that it's getting louder.
Because
some of them are beginning to recognize me, and they are vibrating and making noise. So it's getting now very loud.
So it's like a sensor, yeah. Things. It's work on the principle of heat, yeah. Your body temperature, or also the shape, yeah. The shape of your. The shape or the viewer, yeah.
Does it work? Yeah.
It works on the principle of heat, yeah. Your body temperature, or also the shape, yeah. The shape of your the shape or the viewer. Yeah.
So this is the main object. So it's very loud, so I can't comment anything while it's running. This is because the parts, it's like the box is about 6 centimeters, and with all the electronics and the motors and the technology in there, and so it's like a resonating box, and it's making a lot of noise. And every shard has a unique sound. Some are very loud, and some are more knocking, and some are humming, and some are squeaking. So all sorts of noises. Yeah. And you can dance in front of that thing, and it's shaking and rattling, and sometimes it loses one of its shards. I had to.
Oh, really? So it responds to our movement also, yeah, to our movement and to your movement, or to.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's also if there's some other hotspot. Whoops.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was this object. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, here you are back.
Yeah.
So I go to the next room. This is the former butcher shop here, and now it's a kitchen. And I have another object which is related to the shards, and this is this one, and this is called the Anti-Shards. And it's made of all the cutouts from the plexiglass shards you have seen in the beginning.
Yeah.
Plus cutouts from another part. The thing is, when you work in this style, I do that. Normally, you sketch something, and then you only concentrate on the lines and on the black color. But when you do it with a laser cutter, you also get the inside, the nothing, the holes. It's turning into an object. It's all the remains of the laser cutting process. And they are all very interesting shapes too. And they are also belonging to the same cosmos of shapes I'm using in my artwork. And so I decided, hey, this needs to be done into a new object. And so I glued it together with some special glue, and made this anti-shard, so the opposite shard or the negative, whatever. And even here, if you see, there are again new shapes come up, and it could be continued endlessly, I guess, the whole process of creating new shapes. And yeah, So this is also part. The red, by the way, is from an older artwork, which was also laser cut with plexiglass. It belongs also to this whole block of works, but it is not exhibited here. But that was so it's merged from the leftovers of shards and of the steam traveler. That was the name of the other artwork, and some more excess shards also here in the background. Yeah. So maybe this continues out even after this exhibition. I think probably I will do more and more of these shards, and maybe one day I have hundreds of them and I can cover a whole museum wall or whatever, if someone would like to see that. All right, so now we...
Do you have a representation of each shards? I see the one that is moving. It's like a person. It's like an image of something.
No, it's actually completely abstract. Of course, there are tiny fragments where you can see like images. It's my style is a bit derived from comics. Of course, comics did a lot of influence, pop art, but also constructivism, or guys like Kandinsky, or this type of stuff that was also big influence for my work, and so that's where I derive my images from.
Okay.
So there's another shard shard artwork here. This is called the life shards, and this is made like an insect collector's box.
Yeah.
And
what are the materials? Is it the same with the other shards?
It's the same shapes, but this time I used it to make a self-portrait of myself, and the focus was lying on using the shard shapes, which resemble my sort of alphabet as an artist, and use up materials. So the focus is on the materials I used for cutting, and I'm a big collector, and this is like an illness. Some of you might know that. And so I keep collecting stuff, and I just can't let go, and it's too much, which almost reminds me on things, and so it was like a therapeutical piece of art to cut out all this, so thereby destroying the context, and they are materials they are all resembling a part of my life. So there is. I was living in a different town once, and there was a factory for conserved fruit and stuff, and there was I found there under the roof some old labels from these tin cans from 1920, and so one original tin can label, and then there is I made my first animation. Cartoon animation movie was done in 1988, and this little I don't know whether you can see that. If you could point there, this one. This is a tin can label up there.
Yeah,
it's difficult. Yeah, and this is from my animated film, which was a very big project for me at that time. Then I'm a big fan of Jules Verne, and this is an original woodcut from a Jules Verne book.
Oh, really?
Broke my heart to cut it into pieces.
Yeah. Wow.
And so every shard resembles a piece of my life, and
it's like a museum, yeah. It's like a museum.
Like a museum. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And so that was the main shard stuff, and then this is very difficult to show. It's black.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether you recognize. I go closer. Maybe you see that there are very faint lines in there.
Oh yeah.
If not, you just have to believe me. And these lines, they are engraved lines, and they were also created. Actually, I used this piece of cardboard as a support for when I lasered this this other laser cut image in the back here. It's called Vomit, and as it is glued from 16 pieces of cardboard, which were glued together, and with cutting every piece of this big whole thing, I always needed something underneath to avoid from reflections from the laser reflects from underneath, you know, and so you need something you put under this, and this was the black one, and it created a randomly pattern of traces which derived all from this big laser cut vomit here. And the thing is with this one, it is very, very lightweight, but with this size, it looks very two-dimensional. But when you get closer and you see that, maybe you can imagine it somehow. Due to gravity, things bend out, and it gets a completely new three-dimensional appearance while hanging here, and which has nothing to do with the 3D appearance that is in the whole mess of icons and stuff which is shown here. And also in this, my idea is with this is also like, I would like to draw without any canvas, just in thin air. And so that's something I wish for. And so the laser cutter is very good for that. And in the same tradition, I did this steel laser cut. This is something I cannot do with my own machinery. I need to go to a shop for that. And this is done from stainless steel, and it's gold plated. So it's real gold on there. It's about 400 euro gold on it. Wow. And it's called Laocoon. And you know Laocoon probably from art. There's a very famous sculpture where this guy is fighting snakes. It's a very classic sculpture, and you know the story of Troy, when the Greeks fought the Troy, and they had this horse, the Trojan horse. Yeah. Probably you all know that. Yeah. And the guy Laocoon was a priest, and he was the only one who doubted this Trojan horse, and he said this horse is fake. There's something wrong with it. Yeah. And the gods were on the side of the Greeks, and they sent him the snakes and to silence him. And so he had to fight with the snakes, and also his sons were punished with the snakes, and all this winding up with the snakes, the chaos. So that I did that in an abstract way, and for me, Mr. Snowden, who now sits in Moscow, I think, is the modern Laocoon, because he pointed out that the NSA is collecting all our data and doing strange things with it. Yeah, and that was my idea with this one.
So the internet is a Trojan horse, yeah, nowadays.
Yeah, the data collecting, which happens in the background, which we don't see, we pay the price. They get all our data and interlink everything with everything.
And they send snakes
to
Snowden.
Yeah. And there's a small one. I probably have to switch that on. It's this one, because this needs electricity too. It makes a bit of noise, but not too loud. So and here is it's vibrating, but I'm using in the frame there is a little motor to vibrate it, and very soon. And this is as an little Arduino computer, which by the frequency of vibrations, and different parts in it vibrate. So it's like playing through random, it blurred and yeah, not visible, not properly visible. So that's the idea behind this one. And then we go to the colored things that is just sprinkled in because everything is so black and whitish. I thought I would also show one of my silk screens. This is this one, 4-color silk screen print. It's called Opinions. Maybe if you look a bit longer on it, then it is self-explaining.
Yeah.
And what else do I have? I have this also some networking silk screen on hemp cardboard, 5-color silk screen. This is called PulpNet.
Why do you have a different style in it in this one? It's more, you know, big pieces and with colors. It's rather different.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Of course, it's also some elements do reoccur, but this is a very old piece. I did that in 1996, and so I also, of course, my style developed after that. But it is there's always something which is also part in my newer work. Yeah. But of course, they are always. I'm not so fixed on style. I think as an artist, it's a bit like a trap. If you find a style and then you think, okay, I'm happy, and everyone recognizes me for this style, and I'm being booked or bought because everybody recognizes me. But the challenge is sometimes to find new things and new ideas, and I'm just not satisfied if I have one style and I think this has to go on, and so I'm always looking for new impression, new things, and new art which influences me as well, of course. Yeah. So that's mainly the exhibition. Yeah. So I hope you got some sort of an impression, and now we can talk whatever you like.
Okay. So we will explore a bit about your exhibition a little bit more, and of course, if anyone would like to ask something about this exhibition, you could you could write the question in the chat text, and probably we could have time to raise the question. But first, and later on, of course, we could talk about the illustration association in Germany, because many of our friends here in Indonesia would like to know about that also, and also we can exchange a little bit. But now for the arts and the exhibition, first of all, this is a basic question. When do you first interested in since when do you experimented with these shapes and materials, and in particular, since when do you begin to experimenting with the laser cut? How different is it with the previous experiment or the previous art you did before the laser cut?
Yeah. Cutting was almost always a big part of my artwork. When I started studying design, I was one of the first to go into airbrushing. And if you do airbrush, you need to cut masks as well for masking areas.
Yeah.
So this is my first approach on cutting things. And I think half of my house was derived from airbrush work and doing lots of. And of course, when the computer came, the airbrush work was not that important anymore because you could do it in a 3D program or you could do other things. So it went down a bit. But then there was one job I had where I came into etching. I had to do masks for a brewery, and they use this technique to burn with a laser through these. It was in that case stainless steel masks, and you had a collection of these masks, which would be the date of filling the bottle, and when I had to do these, and I really was excited doing art with this sort of technique, and I made it. Some little art pieces which I etched from copper. Copper. And they were all also cut out, you know, but I did the shape like a drawing, and then I got a film. And this film was used for it's almost the same technology when you do these printed circuit boards for electronics and stuff, but it was like a silhouette, like your wayang style shadow theater things. So
very intricate.
Yeah. And these were the first art pieces which were in this cutout style. And then later it was possible that there was a company here that offered service for cutting paper. And I used that for special cards and pop-up cards and things. And of course, I was always keen on. It was costly, you know. It was not easy to experiment because you had to think everything. Every detail had to be thought very carefully, and then you go to this guy and you pay him, and then you get what you get. Otherwise, you pay again. So it would be so cool to have that machine myself here, so that I can do more experiments. And so in the end, there was the possibility to buy one in eBay, very cheap. Chinese laser cutter, and this was my tool. That was just it. And really, it was amazing for me to work with that. And and so that was a game changer. In 2016, I bought that, and since then I'm doing a lot of cutout things. Yes.
Right, and it is interesting that you. Focusing on the cutting in your art, well, actually you are an illustrator, so you probably you experience differently, right? With experience lines differently while you're cutting something, or you drawing the lines with pen on the paper, right? So how different is it? How your experience with lines based on two different modes of creating?
It's a different way to think, of course. But with my illustration work, it's like a second part of my life because I have to be very flexible in the jobs, and of course I have the skills and I know the know-how how to do like pop-up cards or other cut-out things, and I try to convince my clients also to do more of these. But it's not a big part of my commercial side as an illustrator. As an illustrator, I'm doing a lot of 3D animation stuff and also technical manuals and things like that. So it's completely it's the part where I earn the basic income, and this is the fun part here.
Right. So there is a question from Michelia Schrabbeck. I think you could ask Volkmar yourself, so you could unmute your mic. Michela, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello to all.
Hello.
I liked what you said about the drawing in air. Something you said just when you walked around. And I would like to know whether you will develop even more into that direction, or if you have any ideas that you will follow up to get the drawings even more transparent.
There are a lot of ideas I still have, and
always a lot of ideas, I think.
there will be more on that, and there will be something floating, and there will be something with magnets, and there will be something with a 3D red blue with a 3D Brille, spectacles, Brille. So there are ideas to push that further, of course. It won't end here, and as I also notice every time I do something and I have this idea, and then you work on it, and then you encounter problems, but these are not really problems. That is just it's also opening up new space, like the vomit in the background. It's the big one. I thought, okay, I will cut that from cardboard, and then I will just place it as a two-dimensional free sketch. And then I discovered, hey, wow, it is shaping and morphing because of gravity, and it's getting its bulges, and it's overlaying a completely different three-dimensionality than there is in the 2D image, which simulated 3D imagery. And that is very, very interesting. And I think there's a lot more that can happen from there.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. And also, if anyone would like to ask Volkmar about the art, please do. First, text it, and we can ask Volkmar about it. And Volkmar, about I see that you're having fun, yeah, to create these shapes and experimenting with many types of making things and so on. And so the way you describe it, it seems that it will be an infinite possibilities to have these things going on, right?
Yeah.
But do you have a problem? Do you think about the problem of space? So if it really is an infinite possibilities, how about the possibility of space for your work later on in the future, or something like? Do you will have your work travel to somewhere, or the possibility of doing this for public outside outdoor space?
It can be done, but you have to think in modules then, because you can cut steel, but there is a limit in material sizes you get. If you get sheet metal, for example, and I think it's 2 by 3 meters or something like that. And from there on, if you really want to get bigger, like doing huge murals or things like that, you have to stitch it. You have to make several, but it's possible, I think. But the only thing is, there are also with Laoko on here in the back, my laser cutter guy. I had to source that out, you know, and he had already. It's a limited edition of 3 of these, and so he also had to do a second one, and he was cursing me because he encountered heaps and heaps of problems. In the beginning, he said, "No worries, we can cut everything," but there are technologically challenges with that because. There are so many parts inside. I think it's hundreds of parts that just fall out, you know, and the table where this all happens has like pins standing up, and the smaller parts they tend to tilt and they don't not properly lie there. So they just fall into a gap, you know, and the laser head was traveling at high speed with huge force, and he hit one of these outstanding parts and crushed the whole piece of metal and crumbled it to scrap. And this doesn't make them happy, of course, because he makes a price in advance. And if he loses one of his metal sheets, that means €50 scrap.
Wow.
And, so he was not very happy with that. And And in the beginning, I had to ask about 20 manufacturers for things like that. And most of them, they didn't want to do that because they knew what was going to happen. So it will take some convincing power to ensure that he will do more of this kind of work. And I could argue that he now knows about problems and he knows ways how to circle around them. So I hope for the future that it will be there will be more, and also in steel and in other materials, and also wood, for example, is also very interesting material. But for you as an Indonesian, I mean, you have the Wayang theater, and it should be very close to your Indonesian art. I did that as a Wayang. I don't know whether you have seen it, but yeah, Evelyn knows that. We had that in, and also Evelyn has this one humming image here. This one from our last exhibition, which we did in Eulengasse in Frankfurt last year, and it's the same motive, but Evelyn doesn't have the version with the motor. She only has the cutout versions. Yeah.
Yeah,
Evelyn?
please send me the motor.
I hope it made the flight back.
So you have to assemble it, Evelyn, when you have that.
No, it's like in a one layer, but it's quite fragile, so I was scared in carrying it.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I asked about the possibility of traveling with this art, this kind of art, is exactly that. Do we have to visit your place? Is that the only option we have to experience and to enjoy your exhibition, or are they have the possibility to visit us?
Or maybe why not? I'm open for everything.
Or maybe you could visit us and create something in here. Yeah, that is one possibility.
Like that. Yeah, possible. Yeah.
With
Once
our
we
friends
can
here.
Why not? Yeah.
Suryadi asks, Volkmar, will you show us the tools you use for creating such artworks? The tools?
I can show you the tools if you don't mind the mess that is in my my tool shed. And I'll just go upstairs, and I hope the connection will last. And
so it's a studio, yeah. You have to.
It is I live upstairs. Gallery downstairs. Living space is here. Hey, by the way, I have. Do you know Uji Hahan from Ace House Collective? It's one of his art pieces.
Yeah.
Still working?
It freezes.
It's frozen.
Yeah, frozen.
It's working?
It's working now.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the cutting machine.
Oh. Yeah.
This is my shelf with materials and storage.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what else have I? Here's my this is there were soldering, and it's horrible. It's just horrible. But we better go downstairs. It's much cleaner.
So why don't you instead use the 3D printer, for example?
I also have a 3D printer. Yes.
Oh, you use it.
Yeah. I use it last year. I did some of these shard motifs. I made Christmas cookies with that. I created a 3D printed shape, and I pressed the dough inside of the shape and baking it. Evelyn got one of these.
Yeah.
Last year.
Last year. I got it. But you sent it to Mayumi.
Yes, to Mayumi as well. Yes.
Yeah.
So it is a bit more. It is very slow. 3D printing is a very slow process, but it's a very good tool, especially for fixing tiny problems. Like I did with a 3D printer a lot of parts for the Humming Shards because there were many problems in attaching the shards to the actual motor devices and the springs and everything. And therefore I needed this 3D printer. And it's here in the kitchen. You probably have seen it. It's a very simple one, Anycubic. This is the 3D printer. Yeah.
Oh, so that's
But
where the cookies came, yeah, for Evelyn.
It doesn't have the versatility of a laser cutter, because the laser cutter is okay. On the one hand, it's only two-dimensional, but on the other hand, you can experiment a lot with material. You can cut into stone, you can engrave stone, you can engrave glass, you can print in sugar beds. You know, I experimented with sugar, just spreading sugar, and then adjusting the laser so that it gets like a caramel, you know, and you can make images of caramel. And I try to make glass, but that doesn't work. So really? Basically, I throw everything under the laser cutter and try to cut it. Even for my opening in 2017, I had an exhibition. For the opening, I marked all the potato crisps with my logo.
Oh,
also
for the audience, for the visitors.
Yes. So everybody was completely confused. Oh, is this edible? So, yeah.
Wow, I imagine the amount of time you you spent for those potato.
Yes, because every single potato chip you have to put under the laser. It's painstaking. It's much longer than eating it.
Yeah, I imagine. Do you document it, the process? Something
yeah, sort of. I have a very good documentation of the making of the Humming Shards. But yeah, with this stuff around the last exhibition, how like making the potato chips, I have some photos, but not exactly the process. It's not so special, I guess.
Well, I'm still amazed about the potato chips. So,
has anyone kept the potato chip and that did not eat that?
Brought that home, yeah? Instead.
I don't. I kept one. It is totally bleached out in the meantime, but I kept one. Yeah, as a reminder.
Do you still have it?
I still have it. Yeah, we don't have many bugs and other insects to eat it away. So hopefully it stays a while.
It's not food anymore. Yeah, it's a
no, I wouldn't
memento.
Eat it.
Yeah.
It's a long gone.
And about the materials again, do you want to work more with other materials other than plastic and metals or gold, for that matter? Of course, you said that you work with potato chips also. How about paper and wood? I don't really see woods in this exhibition.
No, but there is an object waiting for an opportunity to be exhibited. This is completely done in wood, and it was planned for a group exhibition in March with Ukrainian artists. And unfortunately, due to the situation, it was postponed to next year. Yeah. But it is ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was made from plywood, 8mm plywood. And
8mm. Wow.
Yeah. That is also. Really? Yeah.
Fragile. Yeah. Really fragile. Yeah. Wood with that size. Yeah.
Yes. I can show you a little element because it's just there in the back. Just 1 second. Oh.
Oh.
So, so like this, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This
It's a
is
different
it is a
shape,
big, only a tiny part of this object, which is going to come. It is yeah. So you can.
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is the idea is it's a cooperation with an Ukrainian artist, and she is doing another sculpture, and it will be like a frame around her sculpture, consisting of a lot of these elements, all different, and they are glued together from 5,000 blocks.
Yeah.
So in total, and it is a traditional Ukrainian cross-stitch image on the basis, and then it grows into this random digital columns. So it is a symbol for evolution and growth in Ukrainian, and that was the basic idea behind that. But that's just, you're getting more than I actually wanted to show, because this is going to happen in March.
Yeah, we could see a glimpse of that, and hopefully it will happen. It happens sooner, than
yes,
because of. And how about the situation of the pandemic regarding your exhibition? How it affect the exhibition?
Yeah, it is of course a huge drawback. When I opened it in September, the figures were pretty low here, and it was, of course, we had to wear these masks and things, but there were allowed about 20 to 25 people for the opening, and it was warm weather, and so we could open all windows and be outside, and it was no problem. But in the meantime, things are really closing in, and it's getting a bit harder, and of course it's getting colder, so I can't right now today we have about maybe 10 degrees, and you know, the weather, it's around the book fair, it can be very cold. I'm pretty sure you experienced that, and so yeah, we have to be indoor, heatings are on, and people are hesitative to go to places. We just visited another exhibition around the corner here, and there was an opening yesterday, and we didn't go there because we thought, well, it will be full of people, I don't want to get infected. But in the end, everybody thought that, and there were only 5 people there. And,
oh yeah. Yes,
so there could have been more, and so maybe tomorrow we give it another try. We'll see. Yeah,
because some of the work, because of some of the work you showed us, it of course it has an element of meeting the works physically, because of the work was created to respond the movement in front of the art. So it is an essential part of the exhibition, I imagine, to have as visitors, to interact with the art. But then the pandemic happened. Is it gonna influence your thinking about your next art project or something like that? The limitation of meeting the work personally and physically?
With our illustrators, we also have this annual exhibition, and this would be in February. And I think we can't do it in February. It also affords some planning ahead. And so we want to do an outside exhibition in June next year. And so in June, we hope outside shouldn't be a big problem anyway. And yeah, so we can probably go ahead for this delayed exhibition. And hopefully in 2022, we can go ahead with a normal schedule in winter with our exhibitions. But it is a huge problem, planning things ahead, you not knowing anything. I don't know how it is in Jakarta, but maybe the situation is quite similar here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, you also have to wear masks, I guess, outside.
And deal with all the uncertainties. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And worries about many things. It's always gonna be awkward now to go outside our home, right? So I think it influenced our experience also. If we do have exhibition and we visit it, I think we visit it and we enjoy art with always almost by default with the certain amount of worries and anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And Sheila, say hello to you, Volkmar. Sheila, would you
Hi.
would you say, yeah, Sheila Roswita, hello. Would you like to say hi to Volkmar or have something? Oh, also Anissa has question. Which one? Sheila first or?
Sheila is in dinner mode.
Huh?
Dinner mode.
Oh, Anissa has a question. Yeah. I think Anissa could ask. You could unmute your mic.
Okay.
Anissa. Hi, this is Anissa Volkmar.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much. I think your works are wonderful, and I think it's been quite some time since we experienced the real exhibition because of the pandemic. So yeah. Anyway, I had so much fun. So thank you so much. My question is, what's your challenge as an artist working in this medium, especially living in Germany? Is there any specific difference? Like, for example, for me personally in Indonesia, my experience is not really finding print shop with laser cut machine or making art with laser cut or 3D printer has higher production costs.
Yeah. For the context, would you like to tell about yourself, Lisa? What do you work with every day? This is an artist in Jogja that's very active today. So please tell yourself about yourself, Lisa.
Oh yeah. So yeah. I'm working a lot with printed papers. I make zine, and also I'm more into comic poetry. I just released my first book written in Indonesia. It consists of comics and poetry and illustration, and right now I'm working on my second book. But yes.
And she always send the reader who bought the work or the zine or the books from Nisa with cute envelope and so on that she created herself. So she always make times to do that. So okay. So back to the question, Volkmar.
Making cuteness.
Yeah, you mean the challenge in how to get exhibited, how to get contacts, how to survive as an artist and getting audience and visitors and things like that. Of course, it is a bit of in the beginning of the whole situation. Everything came to a halt, and there was about 2 or 3 months were very difficult. And but then, of course, there was also support. Also, we have some government support for Corona problems. So this the Humming Shards was also funded by especially because of Corona,
Right.
And so there are even more possibilities for self-employed artists or event people who are really suffering because they have lost their complete income. And so of course it's a struggle, but yeah, it keeps you alive, let's say like that. And the artists, they are trying to do exhibitions. So right now we have, yeah, of course, everybody was optimistic that it would all not be that bad in that time, and that maybe we even have some vaccination or whatever. And now we have a lot of offerings for art things that happen. The museums were closed in the beginning, and now they are all open again. But you have, of course, all the restrictions. You have to wear the mask, but it works. It works. In the beginning, I was in Frankfurt in the Schirn in a big exhibition, and that was one of my first tests, and it was okay. There was no feeling of greater restrictions. It was just the mask, and that was it. And so hopefully that people are getting a bit more relaxed in handling this, the whole situation, and also being more open in planning other exhibitions and getting. Artists always need audience and visitors and applause and things like that, and opportunities to show their work. And this is very important. And so it's also important that, okay, the exhibition happens, but it's also very important that people also go there and take the tiny risk and see things, and the life goes on, and you need some inspiration, and you need something that distracts you also from these everyday figures and things and problems. Yeah, so that's very important. Right. So I hope this helps a bit.
That's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Andik, did you also visit came to the party in 2015, right?
Yes, I am. Hi, Volkmar.
So
how are you? Congratulations for you and all the Darmstadt illustrator over there.
Yeah, thank you.
Please send our regards for them. Missing you lots. This year we cannot meet again. After last year I have an accident and cannot join Frankfurt again.
Yeah.
But so, hopefully next year.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into that.
Andik is very active. So Andik, could you tell Volkmar, what do you do right nowadays in this time of pandemic? How about the artists that you manage or you deal with in Indonesia? How they cope with the current situation?
I think we all have been very affected by the pandemic because our sales in the bookstore, our physical sales in the bookstore is declining so much. So we can only sell it via online stores, since almost all of the bookstores in Jakarta and in Indonesia, they closed during the pandemic, and only a few bookstores that's opening. But for the work, we're still doing our series because we tried to reformat them from the comic book format into the webtoon formats, and we try to sell it to the international apps, webtoon apps like the Bufftoon and Inker, and we are preparing lots of titles for them. So I think for our comic artists is not really deeply affected. It's just us, the publishers, that got really affected by this pandemic. But hopefully it will be over soon.
Sorry. Continue, please. Sorry.
Okay, hopefully it will be over soon, and we can do everything back to normal again.
How about exhibition?
Exhibition, we cannot do that. So the last event that we did was in March, just right a week before the lockdown. With we have collaborated with one mall in the southern Jakarta. But for this year, we are collaborating with the Jakarta Content Weeks, also from Frankfurt Book Fair. We will have like an online competition, cosplay competition. It will be held in November. So it's like it's quite challenging because it's like we cannot do anything physically that will gather a lot of people, so we have to do it virtually, and hopefully fans and people will still enjoy the virtual events.
You are doing something for Jakarta Content Week, right, Mas Andik?
I do the short talks. It will be aired perhaps on November 12th. Yesterday I did the taping, and then for the cosplay fest, it will be aired on. I will be streaming on November 14 and November 15.
So Volkmar, how about virtual exhibition? Do you interested in doing something, or you already do that as a substitute for the physical exhibition?
No, not yet. I was completely busy with organizing this one here and getting done and everything in real physical. And as you might know, after the exhibition, of course, I need to do new artwork, which takes some time. But I do hope to have other artists here, present them here in these rooms, because they are there, the gallery is there. And so I think the rooms are pretty cool, and people also accept that. There are some ideas for but yeah, we have to wait. There was something for January, but it's not confirmed yet, and maybe a holography exhibition. I know some guy who has a huge collection of old holograms. This could be something I'm interested in. Then we have probably also a silk-screen print exhibition. I organized one in 2016. And it was the 20th anniversary of this printer from Berlin. Sheila has been with me there. I met her it was last year, I guess, and we visited the printer. And he prints for all the illustrators in Germany, for the big guys and the big name. He's a very, very cool guy. And so all his printer-proof work he presents from his 25 years of work is the crème de la crème of German illustration. And having these rooms, it would be just great. It was 2016. It was just smashing because he had so many stuff and such a wide variety with colors. You know, silkscreen is just an amazing technique. You can mix your colors and you make these glowing colors, and everything is possible in silkscreen. And so that was a very, very nice exhibition. And now I saw that he's having his 25th already. So this could be another exhibition I will probably organize here, yeah. But having my own in virtual, I don't know. There are some. I have something virtual which also belongs to this shard topic. I have a HoloLens, you know. It's from Microsoft, for augmented reality, and we wrote a little application together with Rolf. I don't know whether he is here. He wanted to join us. He did the programming for the Humming Shards. He's professor on the University of Erfurt, and he left me his. He did the programming for these shards. And it is, if you put the HoloLens on, and then you are still in the room, but you're floating around you in 3D space are the shards. You can also trigger them so that they move and they tinkle and make noises and things like that. But that is difficult to put that into a virtual concept somehow.
Right.
Thought over in a better way. It is also something you experience here. It is virtual, but you need the HoloLens.
There's Lala.
Hi, Lala. So.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Volkmar, wie geht's?
Good. Good.
So how's everything? Yeah, and congratulations for the exhibition.
Yeah, thank you. Terima kasih.
Too bad we didn't meet this year.
Yes, so that's really, but maybe next year. Erlangen will be next year.
Hopefully.
Yeah, there are some plans to have more exhibition regarding this work. Volkmar already told us earlier. We hope so. we hope we could visit each other. Lala,
course, yeah.
do you have a plan to exhibit something or something?
Well, I don't know, but I'm very inspired by Volkmar's works, because I have this tiny, so it looks like coin, but it has very detailed carving inside. I don't know how he did that.
It's etched. It was etched with acid.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
etching. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Small object, yeah, very small object.
It's very tiny. I think it's the size of a coin, but but it's very detailed. And I remember Volkmar was the one who gave me step by step on how to create color masking in Photoshop. I remember because I wanted to print into risograph poster, and risograph, it looks like an old photocopy machine, but it's colored. It's in color. And I remember I asked Volkmar, do I have to separate the layer? How do I do that? And Volkmar was very patient on telling me what to do.
You should have a class about that also.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should. I mean, because I work directly in digital. I mean, I don't know about about printing. I work in digital printing. I never had any knowledge about this traditional print, about this silk screen or etching. Yeah, and then when he took me to this printing studio, this silk screen printing studio in Berlin, and it looks like a new world for me because I never knew how it worked before.
Yeah, actually already rare, in Jakarta, the traditional printing process, Wow, I can. It reminds me about stories from my seniors about even in 80s or 90s we still have what we call six print silk screen itu apa sablon ya?
Yeah,
sablon ya. And with all the the strong
honestly.
Nisa, do you work with silk screen?
Not yet, but I really want to learn right now. Just digital printing mostly.
Yeah.
You're to try the other printing technique.
So
when I was in Yogyakarta and visited Ace House Collective.
Houses.
And they have there's a crack studio. You know the crack
studio.
They're
amazing, really. Yeah, I've never seen that. I live in different part of Jogja. In the north, and they're in the south. So it's pretty. It's a bit far, but yeah, I'll go there sometime.
Yeah.
Arted a lot of art. They all had silk screens. When I was there in the evening, and I had some of my silk screens with me, and I didn't think about exchanging art, but it was their idea. And from all sides they came and they had their silk screens, and we exchanged a lot of art. I think it also do a little exhibition with Indonesian silk screens with all this I bartered there.
Yeah. Sheila want to experiment with silk screen in Jakarta and probably exhibit something from that that kind of techniques.
Well, actually, I already bought the paints.
Wow! So you plan to do something about it, right?
I already watched a lot of YouTube videos about how to create your own screen frame,
Right.
and how to create the frame and how to create the stencil. I mean, of course, I already watched that, but I haven't tried it. I mean, in real life. But
why?
I did try lino cutting. I already tried lino cutting. Yeah, and it's very, very I have a different satisfaction doing it everything on my own.
Especially
but
now,
you need a dark room for getting the images photographically on the screen, on the printing screen. This is what keeps me away because I don't have a proper darkroom for that, and so there's a bit of chemicals involved, getting it the color off and getting the photoresistant off and things like that. So there are some things that are a bit complicated, but the actual printing process is rather simple, I guess. Yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, it is an interesting technique. Absolutely.
Volkmar, what's that thing behind you? I mean, it's huge. Is it also etching?
No, that is a laser cut. You weren't there when I explained it.
Yeah.
This one, you mean this one? This is the vomit.
Actually, 3-dimension.
Yeah.
Pardon? Sorry.
Can you show us again?
Shitty connection.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very delicate.
And actually,
it's all,
that's so cool.
And could grow bigger, right?
It's getting very difficult to handle here with my means of. I mean, if you need 2 people to deploy it from the wall, and you're always sticking somewhere, and you have to be very careful with it. It needs a bigger backing plate if you transport it. But so far it's good. It survived everything.
I remember I have a poster from you. I mean, it's with color. Is it one of those images behind you? I mean, but it's only A4 though.
The 6 screen. Yeah, that is the red one. This is my last screen from last year. I don't know whether you know that one already. That was last year. I'm just preparing the next one for this year.
Oh, beautiful.
It will be also printed in Berlin with Jens Uwe. Yeah. And,
is this silk screen, sir?
6 screen, 4 color. Yeah.
So anyway, Suryadi said that everybody's waiting for Sela's exhibition also. Or
maybe
probably
Nisa first. Nisa first.
Yeah, Nisa should have an exhibition also because
every day.
Oh, in Instagram, yeah, in Instagram, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, that's an excuse.
Yeah. So
but
we're
thank
still
you
waiting
for the anticipation. Thank you. It really motivated me.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And how about other questions? The audience here want to ask something. We have more.
Maybe let's just greet each other.
Okay.
If anyone.
You host the greetings because you know everybody, I think.
No.
Evelyn? Oh, no.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
There's Rolf and there's Jens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I have to use Rolf because he did all the programming of the Humming Shards.
Oh.
Hi, ja, grüß dich.
Professor for virtual reality and things like that. And yeah, I have to be very, very thankful for his work.
Yeah. Ralph, probably you could share your view or your ideas about the programming of this exhibition.
I know Volkmar. How long do we know each other? Volkmar, 30 years, 35,
80,
something like that.
Yeah, 34 years.
Yeah, and we
we
did a lot of crazy stuff together. But ideas come from Volkmar, and then I just try to help to figure things out. What's possible? What's the main idea? And so, but the amazing thing about Volkmar is he really does it on its own. He starts and he's looking around and checking out things. He's 3D printing everything, laser cutting, and he's doing the electronics and so and the programs are not quite complex. It's more or less a question of the idea and what's possible within the space with that technology. And and it's always a ride. So it's always, you don't know what happens. So that's the thing I really like on it.
So what about the organizing part of this exhibition? I think we want to know also in Indonesia, our fellow artists or illustrators, about how to organize this. Of course, there's a very different context about doing something like this, exhibition like this in Germany and in Indonesia. But we just want to have a comparison, you know, a glimpse of what should we prepare for the long-term preparation or short-term preparation, how you organize things like this in time like this.
As I know a bit how this works, I have a list, of course, of people in the art circuit, like fellow artists or curators or important politicians from the cultural, political side, and of course you have to invite these. And I print a personal invitation, so they get a personal printed invitation, and then I also send around a lot of online email invitations as a PDF. I made a little poster, which is I got this shop window in the adjacent room, you know, and I made a big poster for people passing by. There are not too many in this village, but at least and I had some press work, of course. We have a local newspaper, and they printed about that, and it was, for the village, it was quite successful, I guess, because also in this village there are many artists or art-interested people, and they came because of this article, because they were very keen to know, oh, here's a gallery opening in our village, which is not so many here, almost none. I think there's one in the next village. So this press work was quite important, and then the Darmstadt newspaper, which is a bigger, they also wrote an article on it, and that was so far for the press work. And then I had the opening, of course, and with food and wine and drinks and and a nice weather, of course. That was very, very clever timing, and it would be really much more difficult to have an opening here now in these times, and with closed windows, and maybe I could get 5 people in there. The guy in Berlin, he's with his opening of this anniversary exhibition now in Berlin, which will be the first one show he does with his 6 screens. He said there are only 3 people allowed in this in the location.
Wow!
And this is quite disappointing if you hang all these prints and stuff, and then
you have those difficulties.
Yeah, they have to wait and queue outside, and then 3 people in, and okay, you have to go next week.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Not what I mean, I had concerns with that, of course, because it was very difficult to plan, and I had this doodle list, doodle for getting dates together. So and I asked people to log into computer and reserve a certain time table for the opening, to get a little bit an overview how many people will really come, and that was quite helpful, I guess. Some of them didn't show up, but others, they just don't use this tool. You can tell them, but they don't. They will never use it, and so they just go and show up, and so it was just balanced nicely. It was perfect, yeah. And so the exhibition will now go to 8th of November. And I thought about having a final finissage event, something, but now with the figures being so high, it might be not possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is basically it. That's what I can do with and all the rest. of course, also mouse people speaking to people, going to other openings and meeting other people you might have forgotten, or and tell them about the exhibition, and so you get people there. Yeah.
Okay. I have also the Prasajadi, hi, and Diotami. Diotami, what do you think about the exhibition by Volkmar, and how do you respond it? Just watching this. Hello, Dio. Are you there? Yeah, Dio.
Yeah, hello, Mas Hikmat.
Yeah, this is one of the, I don't know, senior artist in you already have a career late 90s, yeah, or early 2000, yeah,
Early 2000s, I think.
Early 2000, right?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think about the exhibition? Do you live in Jakarta or Bandung?
I live in Depok.
Oh, in Depok. Yeah. So on the way to Bandung, but still far away.
Yeah.
Okay, Dio.
I think it's very interesting because it's been a long time for me watching exhibition like this, and during this pandemic, it's watching Mr. Volkmar Hoppe doing his project with laser cutting is very, very interesting, and it's something new for me. Making illustration with laser cutting is quite new because I never see such work like that before, and I think I really like to see more of his work in the future with more materials, maybe.
Yes.
Yes, it's very, very nice, and I think it's very interesting to see your work, sir.
Thank you, Dio. So how do we see your other works, Volkmar, besides this exhibition?
Now you can go on my Behance portfolio and see some stuff there.
Do you have account in Behance? Yeah, I think Behance very popular also in our illustrators community, right? At least until mid 2000, or still do. Still popular. Still, it's still function as a reference.
Yeah.
Oh, so in Behance, yeah. Any other places?
Yeah, well, I should have an home page, but my home page is disaster, and I have to do that, and I also have to do a proper homepage for the room here. Of course, it's all in the making, and it takes more time and thinking, and I also have the problem that I need two homepages, because on the one side as an artist, things with these things, and on the other side with my normal income business. I don't know how much I should stress that in the future. Maybe actually this is much more fun, and it's much more. And but yeah, I still have to rely on some income, and this is the stable side where I can sell my skills as a 3D artist or thing like that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Aji masih ada nggak, Aji? Aji Prasetyo. Aji also attend to the party in 2015 ya.
Ini ada Eri.
Eri, Eri. Hello, Eri.
Hi, Volkmar.
Hi, Eri.
How are you?
How are you, Eri? Eri, hi. Whoa. How come? I thought you have longer hair during the pandemic. You already have a time to cut it.
No,
how are you, Eri?
Fine. Congratulations to the exhibition, ya, Volkmar.
Yes.
And
good to see you.
Erin now busy
Yeah,
as
cannot
a
get
lecturer,
twice
a teacher, yeah. Now you're
Yeah,
busy
lecturer
teaching
at Trisakti. Yes.
Trisakti, yeah.
and focusing on photography, yeah.
Yeah.
So when do you have exhibition?
This pandemic cannot make anything outside this room. Outside.
Oh, you trap in those rooms, yeah? Oh, you have a good excuse now, yeah. So how do you think about the arts and the exhibition of Volkmar?
The art about before the exhibition, I never thought about Volkmar work. It's always like details and things that very balanced. Something like the thing that you make the calendar. The 2018 maybe, yeah.
18.
And the 2019 you make a cutting calendar, I think.
Yeah.
The whole thing that you make very detailed cutting, and when you make this exhibition, I think that I never doubt that your art is will gonna be more apa ya?
Intricate, yeah.
Complicated, yes. More detail, more things that I don't know, just like beyond, always like trying new things and new tools maybe, yeah. The things that maybe we don't have in Indonesia or we don't try, but you always try things like that, gitu.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always interested in approaching materials in an unknown way. So, like for example, I also tried etching marble.
Wow!
Yeah, because it's actually pretty easy with acid, and so I also use I cut masks and I apply that to the marble plate, and then throw it into hydrochloric acid.
Yeah.
And you get like a cutout in marble, you know.
Yeah.
I might show you one. I sold one of these pieces, and I might show you. I have to go to the bathroom to show you that because it's just sitting here. Hang on, I can see it. Oops.
Oh.
This is a very thin marble plate. It's Carrara marble, and can you see that? Yeah. Sort of. And there's a whole pile of it. It's just waiting to be etched, and. Yeah, so that is also one of my experiments with this technique, whatever.
Oh, wow!
Always the manual work that you do. Wow.
Yeah. That is interesting to explore the manual works, yeah, with the art. Actually, in Jakarta, younger artists exploring lots. Digital works, yeah, in Jakarta, in Indonesia also, yeah, in other cities also, yeah. Mostly, we're excited about the possibilities created by the digital art and digital technology. But seeing this kind of analog works is quite refreshing, yeah.
You have to merge. You have to get that out of the computer. You can start. The computer is a marvelous for making. Parts of it in advance, but then if you use the production methods after that, that is exciting, and more of this technology becomes available. You can like I said, the laser cutting is not so expensive anymore, and it's getting cheaper, and you can things that were not possible for to get hands on machinery and techniques like CNC techniques, and it's not a huge fortune actually. You can dive in pretty low prices, and then you have also this all these like maker scene, maker fairs, and where you have these Arduino computer stuff and robotics and a lot of kids also start very early in getting into this kind and I mean, imagine when I was young and when I was a child, we had a bit of Lego and and now you have Lego with a computer with completely motors and things, and your helicopter will fly in the end.
Yes.
And, there's a lot of stuff available, and you have the internet with YouTube videos. You can learn very quickly, and I took a lot of knowledge also from YouTube. If you encounter a problem, and you Google, you go to YouTube, and someone who has the same problem, and I mean, it's really exciting times, I guess.
Interesting exchanges of ideas and could work together. Pras, would you like to comment, or Rizky or Suryadi? Pras dulu, Pras silahkan. Halo, atau siapa? Nala, Rizky, ada itu? Or before that, probably I would like to explore more about the Illustrators Association in German or something like that. How it contribute to your work as an artist with this kind of exhibition, for example, or your daily activities as an artist, doing jobs for media, commission work or something like that. How the association contribute to those kinds?
The Illustrators organization here from Germany, they of course were quite active in approaching politicians and to show them the special situations of illustrators, artists, and that their loss of income due to the situation. And so they keep stressing that, and they send, maybe every week they send a newsletter where they say again that they are still in the game, and they are still trying to, that it's still not enough, and the problems are not being properly recognized by cultural politicians. Although I must say, they did something. In the beginning, the first supports, the immediate supports, they were not very good for artists. I looked at it and I thought I can skip it. It's such a mess with bureaucracy, and it needs, I don't know, a week to fill out paperwork. And so in the end, I don't get much money. It's the counties from Germany, it was a bit better and more each of low-income artists like illustrators, mostly are, and graphic designers too, actually. It is a very, they can't get a lot of money out of this first funding program they had, because they don't have much costs. They reduce their costs, of course, and this program was only for giving them money for their costs, for like rent or material, and there's not so much, and that wouldn't help. You have no income. That is the main problem. And so they came up with this second approach, that where you could get this funding for an art project, and which I got, which was very good and very easy to get, much less bureaucracy. Only very few things you have to keep in mind. And it was easy, and it was immediately, you immediately got the money. And so the Illustrators Association is always naming all these possibilities. There are a lot more possibilities for if you have a bigger project, also for if you have a gallery. Probably I could do also more to get more funding from them. But it's also a bit of work is involved, and I'm not in such a state of emergency here that I have to take all the last possible straws and to keep afloat somehow. But for others, it's of course very, very important. Yeah. So I think they're doing a pretty good job. The illustrators. That's what they can do. Some of the illustrators, we have some who are into this cartooning business. They have a lot of losses, and because the publishers they seem to cut down their editions, and I don't know. Some never had these kind of problems, and they really are. They have to take another job, and so it is for, I guess, from our club. I guess at least half has really problems, and the other half is doing. Yeah, luckily, I'm probably in the other half. I had not really a big drawback in my jobs. There is always something to do, and so I'm quite fine, but I understand that many others are struggling hard with their topic. Probably it's also a problem if you, as an illustrator, if you are very focused on a very certain segment, like let's say cartooning, and then it's very difficult, although you could probably also do layouts or animatics or storyboards or whatever. You have a lot of skills, and maybe it hits you like you're not used to approach with these skills other agencies or possibilities to earn some money. So the thinking what is possible that starts when the crisis hits you, and I think with the education you have as an illustrator, you have a lot of skills, and it is sometimes probably, you just market your skills, and I think it's possible. Yeah.
And the associate could help also with that.
Yeah, they wouldn't
aspect.
Yeah, it's always advice, it's not that they really say, hey, there's a job there. So that's up to you. You have to get into action. Traders Association.
Of course.
There are too many members, and if they
how many now? How many?
We have 1,800, I think. I don't know whether Jens is still here, but I think it's 1,800 members in the German Illustrators organization. And in our local club, we have 42, I guess, right now. So we are a regional branch of the German Illustrators Association.
How do you organize that size of association?
That is a proper Verein, yes, this association. Yeah, they have a CEO, and they have.
Do you have a structure? Yeah, first.
There is a structure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you have member fees. You pay per year 240 euros. That's quite a lot, but on the other hand, you also have lawyers which advise you in contract things and stuff, and which would also cost money, of course, if you have no membership and things like that.
Right.
So, so this is it's worth the money, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. This is from Rizky. He apologized because the sickness, his signal. So bad, cannot open the video, but he asked you about and really appreciate what Volkmar did, very inspiring. Just one question: do you have a plan for doing workshop for sharing the techniques and ideas? So, and Aquino also said yes, workshop please. So how about it?
Some pressure on me, so maybe I have to put one on. Yeah. So a digital version workshop. I think about it.
Okay.
Let's make it short like that.
Yeah, we could help. We could collaborate. Yeah.
Maybe do a live laser cutting live video on YouTube or Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, either this or we have it actually as a live, like this, like a Zoom workshop. I don't know. Yeah, but I will think about it. I think it might be fun. If you're really interested,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. It could be a fun collaboration if we could do that between countries like this. Okay, Prasajadi, do you have something to add? Or probably Johannes Park. Hi. Yes. Do you have something to add?
Weiter nach unten.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
I'm comic artist from Indonesia.
Oh yeah.
I have seen your artwork. Art is very interesting for me. Yeah. I think I still need to studying the art from you after I seen your artwork. That's all.
So more vote for the workshop things, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Johannes, thank you. And
I'm gonna show you this.
Wow.
Oh.
The one.
Wait. You show this with a narration with voice, so we could see.
Wait, let me.
You show this while talking. All right.
Okay, so Volkmar, please explain what the art is about.
It's basically the same. What is like here in my back? This one.
Yeah.
But this is framed, and it has the motor, the frame, and the other one is it's the same thick cardboard. It's one of the more stable cardboards, and that was. I think I varnished it, but I'm not sure. Did you get black fingers from touching it?
No, I didn't dare to touch it.
You haven't touched it, yeah.
Because normally it is heat that cuts, and of course it's like it's burning the
edges,
the edges, and if you touch it, then you get very, very dirty hands.
Oh.
And of course it makes a lot of fumes and stuff, which all have to be sucked outside, and it's hot.
So now Evelyn and I live quite close, so I could visit your home and touch that. Okay, so I think it will conclude our meetup,
unless someone would like to talk.
To respond more. Or Aquino?
I think I have something to add.
Please do.
In perhaps 2 years ago, when Volkmar visited Jakarta, you gave me and Sheila the wayang, the cutting wayang. I still remember, but unfortunately, I left it at the office. It's really, really nice. Do you also exhibit it in your exhibition, Volkmar? And also your Christmas card is also really interesting. I think you should also put it on the exhibition too.
Volkmar, how about it?
Oh, where's Volkmar?
Oh, wow. No. Oh, no. I think the
connection.
The connection.
No, the star is gone.
But
bahasa Indonesia.
I think Lala, you still cut the wayang, right?
This is the other because of the difficulties of connection. Volkmar used the other device, iPad, and the iPad already lost connection with this.
Or perhaps battery
yeah.
empty.
Probably Rolf could could answer for. Do you see any Christmas card in the exhibition?
No, I don't think so. It was a lot of exhibits, but I didn't see any Christmas card. But maybe I was too focused on some of them. So I don't know. We have to ask him, and he probably tries to get back.
Yes.
Sure.
And have difficulties to. How about wayang in the exhibition? Is there any wayang cutting?
Yeah, get me back on track. What is the wayang thing again?
Sila, I think you also got one from Volkmar.
Probably.
Yes, you gave me one, but yeah, just like yours, I left it in my studio because now I'm sharing studio with my other friends.
And you're now working from home.
It was only until February, but then the lockdown happened, and I haven't been back to the studio for I don't know how many months already now. 8.
Wow, yeah.
It's going 9.
8, yeah.
9 months.
Crazy.
If it's a baby, it's already born, yeah.
So Andix, unfortunately, I had some breakdown here, so I couldn't hear the last words you were saying.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I remember you gave me the wayang cutting art and also the 3D Christmas card. Do you also exhibit those things in this exhibition?
Can you hear us, Volkmar?
It is a bit shaky now, the connection. Now I can see you again.
Yeah.
I was just hearing a part sentence from Andik about this Christmas cards and stuff I was sending.
And the wayang.
The wayang.
One.
Yeah. That is right. You got one. I also have this fun every year to do a Christmas card or an anniversary card for the next New Year. And this is mostly done with the aid of my tools and laser cutter. And so last time was the first time the 3D printer had to do the job. But it had this wooden backing that was also laser cut. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it is fun, and congratulations for your exhibition. I think we have to conclude our meetup.
Yeah, it was great.
So we'll wait for your workshop.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
And I wish you all good luck in Jakarta and to overcome this situation as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you, some of you at least, at the book fair probably next year. That would be.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Yes, hope so.
Or probably before that. I don't know.
I hope for in Erlangen at the comic salon. I don't know, Sheila.
Yeah.
You had the plans for this year, but now it's postponed 1 year. Probably she will come.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, so this year is cancelled. So maybe in another 2 years then.
Probably next year. Probably next year.
Because Erlangen is only once in 2 years.
Yeah, but this is a special situation.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
They shifted it. Yeah, it is next year. If
I heard
that. Good, next year. Okay, cool.
Of course, we hope we could meet up personally. We all did. We all do. Yeah, we hope we could continue our connection, and thank you for your friends also. And again, congratulations about your for your exhibition, and it is very interesting to see what territory would you visit with your works, with your exploration of materials and methods and techniques. And we would like also to see the process, if you can, with the workshop and
Yeah.
hope we can continue with other collaborative program, yeah, Volkmar.
Yeah, hopefully it's really interesting.
And
okay, so terima kasih.
Terima kasih from
Terima kasih.
Danke.
Selamat.
Let's take a picture together.
Yeah, take a picture.
Lah.
Please
It's
open
like
your camera.
oh yeah, if you could, Nala, Johannes, if you could open up your video so we could.
Okay.
Yeah. So Novel, yeah.
Mas Diki nggak ada yang mau ditanya.
Tadi kan udah tanya.
Tadi udah tanya.
Tapi videonya nggak nyala sih.
Iya.
Mat. Ini sinyalnya jelek banget di sini.
Ya, kita buat foto dulu. Oke.
Oke.
Who's taking the picture? Aquino ya?
I will do it.
Oh, oke.
Siapa yang ngambil?
Aku.
Oke.
Oke. No one is opening anymore.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Wait.
Ich bin nicht dabei.
Again.
Foto.
1, 2, 3. Oke,
terima kasih semua. Thank you, Volkmar. Bye, take care ya. Take care ya.
Novel, ayo buka kameranya.
Novel, apa kabar? Mana?
Oke, bye. Ya.
Foto palingnya.
Stay safe.
Bye, Volkmar.
Stay safe.
Soon, I
Nah,
hope.
tuh Mbak Novel baru keluar tuh.
Olahraga, barusan olahraga. Aku nggak tahu udah mulai ternyata.
Uncle Volkmar.
7 o'clock.
Dadah Diat.
Selamat tinggal.
Selamat tinggal.
Diat.
Jangan selamat tinggal.
Iya, sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa.
Bye, Volkmar.
Jangan selamat tinggal.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oke. Mas Ikmat langsung lewat.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Volkmar.
Thank you.
Live streamingnya nggak di stop.
Ya. Oke, live streamingnya di stop dulu ya. Terima kasih.
Okay, see you, Volkmar. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.